Battle Total Warfare.
Hello everybody, welcome to Gunship Battle Total Warfare. I am Grave, and today I wanted to talk about individual ship and their skills that come with the ships. Now, there are a lot of different ships and a lot of different skills, and I could have spent a lot of time doing each individual ship, but this video was already way too long. So I went ahead and we're just going to talk about my favorite and least favorite ship skills. So very first off, we have the Nansen class. And I love ship skills that benefit your other ships. More of like a buff type skills. So again, this is just my preference. I just want everybody to look at what their skills are for their ships to see if they're benefiting them or if they're actually harming them. So the Nansen has a really cool skill, and it gives extra attack for 2 turns to all ships. So as you can see here, and I kept it at 1 time just so you can see the numbers, and these are very low level ships, just so you can kind of get an idea. And I didn't kill them too quickly, but they were doing between 35 to 4,500 damage per hit. After you used the Nansen skill, it jumped up to about 45 to 5,500 damage per hit. So very cool skill to have, and you can implement that into many different ways. So my next favorite skill would be for the FFG and DDGX. You have your homing warhead, which cannot be evaded. That's 120% attack, cannot be evaded. And then you have 140% attack for your anti-submarine helicopter on your FFGX. This increases with every other FFGX you have. So having multiples does help, although I don't necessarily like having all 5 of the same ship. Now, the DDGX also has one of my other favorites. It's the air defense, which decreases the damage you take from airstrikes and multiple target missile damages, which is on your Zumwalt, your Virginia class, your Typhoon class, and your Borelli class ships. So that also is stacked for how many DDGXs you have, which is pretty cool. So the cooler ship skills, there are some lower tier. I think the Duke Mod 1 has a passive buff as well. Like I said, there's tons of them. Go ahead and make sure that you're looking at exactly what you want. That'll help you in your playstyle. There is no wrong way. There's just certain ones I like and dislike. And I've just been paying more attention to it lately to really just give myself that little extra edge. So, like I said, I'm going for the more passive buffs here that I like. Doesn't mean that they're great for anybody else, it just means they work for me. Now, as far as numbers go, there's nothing to really evaluate here in this battle, per se, other than the fact that I just completely destroyed this 45 very quickly. And we're going to go ahead and jump to the next video and set of skills. And I really struggled, even though those ships were just as strong as these ships. And like I said, I'm not knocking sub players, but their skills are kind of garbage in comparison to these. So let's talk about that, because there is no wrong way to play. Subs are very good in certain aspects. But when you look at their special skills, especially the cluster missile, it does 7% of attack. 7. Versus your high-speed torpedo, which does 150%, plus another 10% towards destroyer, so you can do up to 160% damage using your high-speed torpedo versus your cluster missile. And then, you also have your multi-target missile, which does 5 missiles at 50% attack. Now, yes, you're hitting all the enemies, but you're not doing a whole lot of damage. And it is a lot more than the cluster missile, but it's still not that particularly great until you get into 2 or 3 ships left and use a multi-target missile, mostly because you 2 or 3 are gonna get evaded. So there's 100% damage gone right from there, which the Zumwalt is also a part of this. I don't have any at the moment because I traded them for my new tier 14s, but their electronics countermeasure gives you an evasion rate of 150% and a 25% damage reduction from airstrikes. But let's take a look here at the subs and their particular skills. And just the damage compared, this is the same 45 that you seen in the last video, just with different ships. So yeah, let's just take a look at how much damage it does in comparison. Now I know that we're fighting frigates and submarines, so I tried to focus on the submarines because it's equal, and the frigates were also fighting submarines, which gives it huge power buff. But take a look at this. So we're going to use the cluster missile. We're at 710,000 durability and 14,000 damage. The one before that was only 10,000 damage. Okay, so cluster missile does 14,000 damage. Not a whole lot. It really is not. So let's look at just a regular torpedo. And these are some of my strongest subs too. That did about 30,000 damage. So right off the bat, your regular attack is twice as strong as your cluster missile. Let's take a look at your multi. This is coming from the Borelli class, so it does a little bit more damage. It's about 30,000 damage. Not too bad actually. I think most of them hit. Again, it did a lot more damage when I was down to 2 or 3 ships though. And then we'll get into the damage that is caused just by your high-speed torpedo, which is so much better than the other two. And this is why I don't like auto battles. When you're PvPing or doing blitz with submarines, it's going to use your multi-missile. But if you look at this high-speed torpedo, 70,000 damage. So, I don't know. To me, that's just a huge difference in skill and skill damage. 70,000 versus 10,000 for a cluster missile. Little ridiculous. But I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention about the ship skills, and hopefully that this helps a little bit. Like I said, there's no wrong way to do it. There's just definitely some skills you probably should stay away from. That's all I got for today, guys. I hope that this helps explain the skills a little bit better. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe. And also, if you want, put in my creator code, which helps me a lot, and receive monthly gifts from Joy City. Thanks.